Battle of the Baddest. What a battle it was. Francis Ngannou versus Tyson Fury really just presented an awesome battle. I don't think there's any other way to put it. I mean, I'm talking razor close scorecards. It's just insane. I'm going to pop a picture of the scorecards right now. I think you can just see by those numbers themselves how fucking close this battle was. And the fact that this was Ngannou's debut fighting, well, it's his debut boxing match, is just insane. He presented incredible boxing skills. He was trained by the god himself, Mike Tyson. I fucking love Mike Tyson, by the way. So I was supporting Ngannou from the beginning. Obviously, everyone kind of knew that Tyson Fury was going to win, but by how close, we didn't know, and now we know how close it was because, oh my god, it can easily be argued that Ngannou was robbed. If you go through Twitter right now and you just go to the hashtag of Battle of the Baddest, you will see how many people there are complaining about Ngannou being robbed. It is insane. I mean, don't get me wrong. The knockdown that he got in round 3, I'm just going to play that now. Beautiful knockdown on round 3 that scored him so many points. I think that was the reason why they were so close, because other than that, you know, he would have been a distance away. Overall though, the fact that he managed to keep up with Tyson Fury really, it just shocks me. It really does, because the fact that Tyson Fury has been boxing just an insane amount of time. I don't know how many years off the top of my head, but I know that he has been boxing since the beginning of time, and with everything on his side, he was taller. He went into the match weighing like 2 to 3 kilos heavier, which is just absurd. It's just ridiculous. So weighing even more, he had everything under his belt to win, and the fact that he won by just a couple points is insane. It really is. And I think something to take note here is this is very similar to the KSI and Tommy Fury fight, where Tommy Fury literally won by 1 point. It's similar here, where Tyson Fury, he hardly won against Ngannou, and these guys are fighting people that they should, you know, somewhat easily be able to beat. Now, don't get me wrong, Ngannou, a fucking beast. He is a true warrior.
Aldo saw in that last round. Oh, an elbow came in on the back end of that.
He's been dominating the UFC for ages now with his incredible punching power and whatever else he has. This man is seriously incredibly skilled, and his backstory really does just fuel his fire. So, you know, I feel like we shouldn't have expected any less here from Ngannou, but the fact that he's fighting Tyson Fury, who is probably the best boxer out currently, is, you know, it makes us question whether he can actually be beaten. Now, the whole fight, I honestly want to say it was pretty balanced, and Ngannou getting that knockdown, sorry I'm bringing that up again, was just beautiful. So yeah, overall, I mean, Tyson Fury, he, as per usual, controlled the distance incredibly well, but Ngannou shockingly managed to break that distance sometimes, get on the inside, get a few beautiful hard hits off. He was really counter-punching incredibly well as well. I think that's mainly just thanks to him sparring Mike Tyson, which is a terrifying thought. And if you're entering the ring and you know that the man that you were named after is been fighting the guy that you're about to fight, you gotta be somewhat worried. So you gotta give props there to Tyson Fury. I also just want to add how funny it is. If you look at the odds, I'm just gonna pop a picture now on the screen. You can look at the odds. The odds were massively on Tyson Fury's side, and then towards the end of the match, it really changed. I love to see that, how the underdog just begins to almost dominate the scene towards the end. It's the fact that he basically came back from nothing and managed to just show every single like manner of skill within the fight. It's just beautiful. But yeah, so the fight overall, brilliant fight, very entertaining to watch. It's what you'd expect from Tyson Fury, and the way that he fought Ngannou was just, yeah, great fight. Anyway, I'm going to get to the end bit now, where they were they released who won and stuff, and I just want to take a look at their faces. So we're going to start off with Tyson Fury's face. I'm going to put up a picture now, once again. He is beaten up, bruised. He had a couple cuts as well. I think he had a cut like on his forehead here. I mean, Ngannou had just been annihilating him with just pure power. I'm honestly shocked that Tyson was still like feeling okay afterwards. I think that really shows how much of a tank he is, because Ngannou is just a true hitter. I mean, just next level power. If you take a look at some of his UFC knockouts, they are scary. You don't even know if the guys are going to wake up because he's hit them so hard. Anyway, yeah, so we're going to take a look at Tyson Fury's face there. He's beaten up. And then if you look at Ngannou's, not really a scratch on him at all. I understand you're not going to be able to see bruising on him that well because of his colour. But, I mean, you'd still be able to see some swelling and some inflammation if he'd been hit really hard. And overall, he looked completely fine. I mean, he really didn't seem like he'd been that hurt at all. And Tyson Fury just looked like he'd had his shit rocked. So, I just want to add that in there. It really looks like Ngannou's got a bright future in fighting, which is lovely to see, really, because we're seeing a lot of these UFC fighters nowadays just getting severely underpaid and not really having a path to go through. They are just stuck in the fighting gym and they can never really get out because there's no career path they can go down because they've dedicated their whole life to this. And sorry about that. But yeah, seeing Ngannou enter that ring for the first time and honestly keep up with Tyson Fury was beautiful to see. I do want to say that I personally, and I think a lot of people had their concerns about him training with Mike Tyson, not because he's training with the best of all time, but because he was fighting Peekaboo at his best and he was going to be teaching Ngannou Peekaboo. Now, obviously, Tyson Fury, much taller than Ngannou, so it's almost like a no-brainer, you know, for Ngannou to try and be fighting low and then coming up and then moving around and shit. You'd expect that, but Ngannou's not used to this. He's used to being the bigger opponent. So as soon as he starts trying to learn this new style of Peekaboo, he didn't really flow that well. If you look at some of the training clips, he doesn't flow too well. I'm going to play a clip now. You can see him, he looks a bit awkward when he's throwing his uppercuts and his hooks and he's sending his jabs and he's dropping under. He just looks slightly awkward when he's fighting it. But to be honest, the way that he applied those skills to the fight was surprising. I wasn't expecting it. I was truly expecting him to go into the fight and straight away just go back to his old ways of fighting. And overall, I'm surprised by him. And I'd love to see him in a couple more fights. Maybe even they rematch. That'd be great to see. I'd love to see them rematch in like 6 months time just to see how far Ngannou can really get with this, because the fact that he's already had a title shot is just fucking beautiful. But yeah, just wanted to kind of give my opinion about this and summarize it. Overall, brilliant fights. I'd love to see Ngannou fight again. Maybe against Wilder. That would be a brilliant fight to watch. You'd really just get some heavy fucking hitters fighting that. I think the whole time they just have to trade for conditioning. But yeah, overall, love that fight. And yeah, that's about it. See you.